Today I'm looking at another website, an electrician's website, and I'm going to look at ways in which it can improve and see if there are things there that it's doing well and see if there are things there that it's not doing so well. So as I look through this together, as always with these challenges, I'll try and find 5 areas that could immediately improve the business of the website. And hopefully as we identify these things together, then if you're watching as well, you'll find that applying some of the suggestions I put forth will also benefit your business too. So thanks for joining me. Hi, I'm Zane from Zanet Design, and I use my 20 years of experience to help other businesses like yours improve their presence on the web. So if you're a local business, a small business, or even an entrepreneur with your small website, hopefully some of the things we look at in this video will benefit yours too if you apply the things we look at. So let's take a look at this electrician's website.
So today's review is Oakleys Electrical Services, which we'll put into Google and we'll see how this rates. So it's good to see that it comes up at number 1 for the exact business name, so that's always good to see. And also it's good to see that it's got a Google My Business account registered with it too. And as we can see here, it's an electrician in Blandford Forum, England. Okay, so let's have a look at the website first of all. We open that page up and we'll just have a look at the overview of this. So a nice large image that welcomes me, and again some movement as well, which is always grabs your attention. So I'm looking at this for the first time to see that it says Oakleys Electrical Services, delivering electrical satisfaction to homes across the south of the UK. So I'm clear that this is a person that's going to be able to do electrician's work or electrical work, and I can see that they've also got other accounts as well, like Facebook and Instagram linked to that. So that's all good to see. I really like the logo, that's really smart. The only thing I say is that maybe it needs to stand out a bit because it's it kind of blue on greys and kind of different coloured backgrounds doesn't always stand out as well. In fact, often the logo will be at the top left as well. So if I scroll down the page, I don't know who this belongs to. Well, I do, I can see it's here. But sometimes it's good to have, if you can, a logo top left as well, which is kind of like a standard process for a lot of websites. So I mean, the blue is used, it's certainly part of the branding, so I can understand why it's used on the logo, but either these pictures maybe need to be a lighter to get a better contrast, or they go the other way around and have them a lot darker. I mean, that one's actually quite dark, so that's good. So yeah, that's just perhaps my initial thoughts. So as I get on the page here, would you like to know more about them? So I can click on that, and obviously that takes me down the page. And this is all really useful to see that it's been established for some time. So that's good to see. And obviously a couple of summaries as to what you can do and so on. Some customer comments and the office location with the address. And the obvious thing obviously is missing here. So there's an issue with the Google Maps. So there's some type of API situation which can be amended. You just have to log into Google and set up an account, and that's kind of straightforward. I think the reason is that Google used to do it for free, and they still do it for free, but you do need a special account with them now to do that. So that's kind of an easy 10-minute fix if you know what you're doing on that. And then I can see again you've got the plenty of contact details here, and maybe some of the services could be landing pages with a bit more detail about what the agricultural work is. The reason for that is more from an SEO point of view, so that kind of would stand out. And again with these are all good keywords, but just having the word on the page is only half the job really. What you want is to support this a little bit with some references as to why those tags are relevant to you. So I can see there's been some effort to put some SEO thoughts together here, but probably need a bit more detail to have an impact in the search results. So let's just consider the design then. So the layout's good, and the design of it's nicely laid out, and we've got real people here giving their references, which is useful as well. So what is it, when I come here, what do I do? If I wanted to contact you, that's straightforward. I can click on that and that will take me through to an inquiry page again with references to how to contact you. Maybe the email could be a link, possibly. The telephone numbers and mobile numbers and so on are good, and then a form here which again I can fill out, and you've got that to stop the spam as well, so that's fine as well. Good. So we've looked at the contact, we've looked at home. Let's look at services. So the services you offer. So again, I think this possibly here, these aren't links. If these had images or little icons as well, so some of the websites I've designed for, I've kind of done some icons that kind of make these stand out as a bit more attractive services, and then link through to maybe a landing page. So I think these pages here and these here, these could be the same pages but just linked up as landing pages that will help Google to kind of just feel there's a bit more specifics to how you work with agricultural electricians, or how you provide electrical work for the commercial areas in Blandford. So again, that kind of is something to look at, maybe if you wanted to expand the site and build on its reputation. I notice it's not secure as well, so there's a security. So a lot of the browsers now are struggling to show websites that don't have a certificate to say that they're secure. So what that means is instead of saying HTTP, it would say HTTPS, which means it's encrypted and it has a security certificate. So that's an easy fix through the server if you want to make that secure. The gallery. So again, that's just straightforward. Obviously you've still got your Google issue, but that's related to the first one we mentioned, and some images as well. And I think some of the images are really nice. So they kind of, probably a handful of images there. So I notice if we go back to the home page, and let's just, so this, as it's a critique, so there's some positives here, and overall the site makes me feel that it's professional, it's mobile friendly, because if I shrink it down, I can see that we've got, actually that has to be refreshed by the looks of things for that to work. Yeah, so that's not really an issue. So if I was on a mobile, I could use it. Again, this is really nice. I think if that was white, I think that'd look really cool. I'd darken these images, that one particularly, because that wouldn't get good contrast, and I would then have this in white. I think it'd look really cool and stand out. But it flows really well and it works really nicely. So that kind of is excellent. If we were to check to see if it's mobile friendly, so the easiest way to do that is just to go to Google. So type in here the Google mobile friendly test. If I just take that there, and we can just run that test in the background while we're looking at something else. We'll see how that gets on while that's analysing it. Okay, if I go back to, let's look at the NAP. So I notice here you've got your Oakleys Electrical Services, 10 Victoria Road, Blandford Forum, Dorset. Now this here has to be the same everywhere. And you might think, well, that's not that important, but it certainly is. From Google's point of view, the more consistency you have in exactly that format, the greater your authority will be when it comes to Google seeing you as a local business. So let's just take a look at that before we go back to our results. So if I go to find us on Facebook, so that's good that it opens up in a new window. And there I've got, so it's good that it's Oakleys Electrical Services, that's always correct. 10 Victoria Road, but in this case, this is then the postcode and then Blandford Forum. So I wonder whether that could be switched around. And also I think you had Dorset before, so that's something to consider. And here again you've got the telephone number, which is good. Previously you had a landline as well as a mobile. And again, I don't know if there's a consistency. Here you've got a gap. I think on the other one you didn't. Where did I see that? Let's go back to, maybe it was on Instagram. Let's try that one. No, it wasn't Instagram. So it was on Facebook web. Oh, I think it was on, yeah, it was on Google My Business actually. I saw that earlier on here. Yes, there's a few things here. Your number here's got a gap, and your number here has a gap there. But on your website, it never has a gap. It flows all in one go. Now, that isn't going to make any difference to anyone phoning a number, but Google sees that as different. And I'll explain why that is. If we look at 10 Victoria Road here, and then you've got 10 Victoria Road here, but where did I see? But here you've got RD. Now you've told Google that that's your address, and hard to believe, but I've done a video for this and I'll put a link to it in this video. It's known as NAP, name, address, phone number, and the consistency has to be identical. So things like including Blandford Forum and then Dorset has to be done. Including ROAD has to be done. Including either always a gap or never a gap has to be done. When you get all those consistent, then Google starts to go, okay, this is a genuine business and it's consistent, and therefore I'm going to give it a higher credit when it comes to local business. So that's just a tip there, because we're looking with these reviews I do, we look for 5 things that will benefit your website. Sometimes they're just small changes, but they make such a difference. Okay, let's go back to the mobile friendly sites. That's fine, that looks great. There's nothing at all that everyone seems to get these issues with Google. I think that's just rendering issues, but you can see that looks great. So no issues there. It's certainly mobile friendly, and well done. The theme itself looks like it works really well. Good. Okay, let's go back to the website, and actually we're looking at here. So the Google My Business thing here, this is really important for local business. So if you look at this here, you've got one review, and the review looks like it might even be from yourself. So what you want to do is go to your customers that have given you some references to use on your website and just ask them if they can give you a review as well. And you can easily get them to get a review, because you can send them a link that gives them the opportunity to write a review. So to do that, you just log into your Google My Business account, and on there you'll see at the top right you can then just request reviews, and it takes them straight through to a place where they can give you a rating. When you do ask for a review, ask for them to give you a rating, ask them also to write specifically about the work that you did for them, because that will then use some keywords that tell Google that, again, there'll be electrical keywords no doubt, so whether it's the word wiring or electrician, those things get picked up, and then respond to it and thank them for it. And even if it's a bad review, still respond and thank people to it. Again, I'll probably put a video link above this video in the information section to follow that through if you don't know how to do that. Now, the other thing as well that I noticed, so you've got your reviews, which is good. You want to increase those. That's right. So if I was to do a search for, and this is really probably the most important search that you'd want, is if I was to do a search for electricians in Blandford Forum. Now you've got this person here's paying for it, and then below there you've got these free results. Now if you go further down, of course, if you can appear as high up on here as possible, that's free traffic, and most people are going to go to Google, they're going to type in electrician, and they're in the Blandford Forum area. So either Google will know that because of their GPS signals, or it'll know that because they've perhaps put that in there. But Google will always try and give local results to a search on a service like electrician. And in here you've now got 3 electricians have come up. Now if you could appear here, it would be great. Now you've got so they've got 1 review, they've got 3, they've got 2. If you can get 7 or 8 reviews, you would be probably likely to come up in here, which is the first place people are probably going to go to. Let's see where you come. You probably come, so there you go, come number 6. So you've got 1 review, which probably you could certainly increase those reviews to 5 or 6. They've got no reviews, they've got no reviews, and then these 3 here are easy to beat. So if you can come up in the top 3, you will get a lot more inquiries, locally speaking. So that's something to really consider. If you can do that, that's going to be a really useful benefit to you. But on the whole, that's it's still good that you're coming up there, and then you've got some great photos. So keep adding photos. Make sure that if you are open 24 hours, that you've got that set up as a definite thing. It doesn't benefit you if people feel that's just been put there for no reason. So if you've got 24 hours, that's absolutely fine, but that doesn't always work out well. But yeah, I'd get some more reviews beforehand. So we looked at consistency. So let's try and see 5 things I'm looking for. So number 1, the consistency of the address. So we've covered that. Number 2, get more reviews on here. I think that's really important because you'll come in the top 3, and that's where the traffic really comes to. Number 3 is I'd suggest getting this as a secure certificate and get that, because the browsers are going to flag your website if it's not secure. Number 4 is just to do with the logo, I'd say. So perhaps get this, if you can get a best contrast with this blue, maybe make it white, make these pictures perhaps a bit darker. I mean, in that case, that's not so bad. Or alternatively, or additionally, put your logo at the top left as well, because that always tends to make it nice and clear. And also it just tells everyone who you are. Normally that links back as well. If you've got a logo there, I like to get it to link back to the home page as well. That's kind of a nice consistent way of doing that. And number 5, I just did a bit of research to find out how much traffic you're getting. And I don't think you're really getting a lot of search engine traffic. So it's a bit related in many ways to the fact that you've got very little content on here. Sometimes blogging or putting up news items or case studies, they're good ways to get a bit more content that's relevant and up to date. So it's good that you've got you've got tags here, but I would perhaps put some landing pages here. So explain about why you're a good electrical contractor in Dorset to choose, or how long you've been in Blandford Forum as an electrician, and just have a bit of information there that is fresh, relevant, and helping the search spiders to find out a bit more information. So this type of thing with maybe a couple of pictures as well, but that's unique to those particular keywords. And I think on services as well, I would have definitely have perhaps had some icons and a link through to a landing page. Now all those things will help get more traffic in time. And that's probably the 5th thing is to just think about SEO, search engine optimization. I put together a little spreadsheet here. So I just looked at how your site is currently ranking on keywords. So the search engines know about Oakleys Electrical, they know about electrical contractors and Chester electricians. Those are the things that your website is currently being found under. Now this volume here tells me that there is, each month in the UK, 30 people are searching for Oakleys Electricals. Now there are other companies called that, so it could be that they're finding them, but there may be some in Blandford that know about you and they're trying to find you. And of course you want to come up number 1 on those search terms. Now if you were number 1 on Oakleys Electrical, then those 30, normally about half those will go to you. So about half gets spread out with everyone else, but number 1 on a volume of 30 would probably mean about 15 if you're position 1. At position 10, it's estimated you get nothing. And the same, just working through these, there's not many here looking for Oakleys Electrical contractors. It's a bit more of a long-term, keyword, a longer keyword than the previous one, but the position there 13, so that doesn't produce anything. This is the one to aim for though. Chester Electrician seems to get a lot more volumes. There's 480, so that might just be a combination of different keywords on your website because of your name and because you're an electrician. You're 93 on that. So if you were to kind of mention that quite often in one of your descriptions on your landing pages, then you may find that there's some traffic to tap into there. And of course, these are just the 3 that are currently have brought something to your website that I could find. There's no doubt could be a lot more keywords to aim at. So that's something that hasn't really been tapped into on the website at all if you're wanting more traffic. But I think the more likely to get more impact by getting to number 1, 2 or 3 here, and that will come through reviews, through writing perhaps a couple of articles on here, maybe offering a product or 2. I think all those things will help to get you to number 1. I'll give you an example of if I just look at my website, for example, if I just did Zanet, and here you'll see that the having information, having offers, having articles written. These types of things help to really answering questions, adding products. All those things help when it comes to making sure that you get inquiries and request a quote. So again, I've done a video about that recently. So all these things help to just boost your Google My Business account. Now mine's particularly competitive in the Bournemouth area, but I think for you, I think there's some real easy wins there if you can get this kind of up the rankings slightly. So hopefully that's been useful. I've located 5 things for you to work on. If you get stuck or you need help, or if this is anyone who's enjoying this critique, then if they want to contact me as well, I can certainly help and point you in the right direction. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy this video.